Hello everyone, we are 167 Group. Today we are going to talk about the leadership of Shell. First of all, I will introduce my group members. My name is Xuanyu Wu and it's Mozi Zhou, Lingyue Kang, Hanxi Fu, and Yunhao Lu. Then, let's begin with my part. The Royal Dutch Shell Group of companies was founded in 1997 as a multinational group of oil companies. Founded by the Union of Royal Dutch Petroleum and Shell Transport and Trading Company Limited. Royal Dutch Shell is the second largest oil company in the world. The company is registered in the United Kingdom and has its headquarters in The Hague, the Netherlands. Royal Dutch Petroleum was founded in 1890 with a special mandate from the Dutch monarch. In order to compete with the largest oil company of the time, Standard Oil of the United States, Royal Dutch Petroleum merged with Shell Transport and Trading Limited of the United Kingdom in 1997. Shell ranked fifth on the Fortune 500 in 2019. Shell is one of the world's oil giants and remain a major competitors in the oil, energy, chemicals, and solar sectors. Also, Shell has 5 core businesses, including exploration and production, gas and power, gas, chemicals, and renewable energy. Shell has subsidiaries or operations in more than 140 countries and territories around the world. Shell's revenues are $193,195 million. Also, Shell has more than 87,000 employees. Then I will introduce the CEO of Shell. Shell's current CEO is Ben van Beurden, born on 23rd April in 1958, a Dutch businessman. His motto is "You must be prepared to invest. You must be prepared to be competitive at any price and cost level." Van Beurden's career at Shell has spanned both upstream and downstream operations. He has held a number of operational and commercial roles, including in chemicals and LNG sectors. During his 30 years career with Shell, Van Beurden has worked in many countries, from his native Netherlands to Malaysia, the UK, and the USA. He officially took up the role of Shell CEO in January 2014. Next, I will tell you what is ethical dilemma. An ethical dilemma is a situation where 2 choices are presented, both for ethical reasons, but both because the other choice is also ethical, and the choice of ethics is compromise of the ethics of the other choice. Decades ago, Shell caused an oil spill in Nigeria, and Shell chose to pay high compensation and not clean up the oil, or pay low compensation and took time to clean up the oil. This is just ethical dilemmas. Should Shell pay the compensation? Is a ethical dilemma. Next part will be introduced by Lingyue Kang.
Okay, thanks you, Xuanyu. I'm Kang Lingyue. Next, I will introduce types of leadership. First, a Shell CEO member's leadership behaviors has an impact on the company's performance. Leadership types are divided into charismatic, transformational, and transactional leadership. First, the former focus on the relationship between leaders and their followers' communications and relationship. Second, have a positive and strong personality. Personalized care refers to care for each underling, paying attention to personal needs, listening patiently and carefully, and cultivating and guiding each underling differently according to the different situation and needs of each underling. Second, encourage underling to innovate and challenge themselves so as to stimulate the passion of followers. In contest, transactional leadership focus on motivating followers through rewards or punishment. Leaders create rewards or punishment to guide and motivate underling to achieve set goals. Next, the importance of shall reflects the following specific leadership behaviors. In Shaw companies, Warburton gets along well with employees and actively provides help and support to employees, pay attention to communication with employees, and listen patiently to employees' stress and suggestion on work. In addition, he said long teams and short teams for the future planning of Shaw. In Shaw enterprise, Warburton will make a clean plan for the future of the companies and make a detailed and clean plan for the promotion of employees. As long as they meet the requirements of enterprise, they can improve their purchase, which bring great enthusiasm and motivation to the work of employees. Warburton will also honor his promise. He will do whenever he promised to employees and put forward new requirements and suggestions to employees to help them work more efficiently. Next, based on the above the leadership behaviors, we can say Warburton has both transactional and transformational leadership behaviors towards his employees, but his leadership behaviors is more towards transformation leadership. Although he motivates his employees by rewarding or punishing them, he puts himself in their shoes, care about their needs, listen to them and activate communication with them. He will give his employees a good career plan and keep his promise to them so that they can move up the ladders and gain competence. However, there are some drawbacks to his leadership. He has high expectations of his employees and therefore can put a lot of pressure on them, and the pressure of work can affect their promotions and communication, which can affect productivity and results. And the transformations leadership behaviors exhibited by Warburton may be driven by self-serving values and the pursuit of self-interest. It is very difficult to be an altruist with high moral character in line with social expectations, and this is great challenges of Warburton's roles creative some contradiction.
Thank you, Lin Yue. I'm going to talk about trade leadership. Trade leadership refers to the unique qualities and characteristics of leaders, which emphasize the influence of certain number of characteristics of each leader that can be distinguished from his followers on the effectiveness of leadership behavior and results. The leadership qualities of effective leaders are innate. Firstly, leaders excel in social drive, intelligence, and emotional control, according to Jaring. The key traits of leadership should include a strong internal drive to lead the team to achieve goals, the ability to use socialized power to influence interactions with followers, and a substantial business knowledge base that understands the business environment, which helps leaders make accurate decisions and bring success to the organization. In addition, leaders should have sensitive insights to adapt to changing market conditions. On the other hand, the research on trade leadership also has limitations, as so far, professional researchers have not studied and analyzed the trade framework models that distinguish effective leaders from ineffective leaders. In terms of sales leader, Ben Verburden, the trait to improve his leadership is to set strong capital disciplines and rules to drive sales financial transformation. In 2016, Ben Verburden leads share acquisition of BG, the largest global energy deal in more than a decade. This acquisition includes the share's position in liquefied natural gas and helped transform the organization's financial performance. Meanwhile, he launched a stock repurchase program, allowing organizations to invest in more cash flow assets and reduce the debt. This means that Ben Verburden has strong drive, considerable business knowledge, and agile leadership qualities to adjust the organization's strategy in time to achieve the organization's ultimate goals. As for the rationale of approaching, transformational leadership focuses on building trusting relationships with employees and encouraging employees to express their opinions. This is a highly encouraging form of leadership in an organization that motivates employees to understand their strengths. However, transformational leadership can overlook the personal development of employees once direct reports and not giving the right coaching to guide them through their new responsibilities. Transactional leadership is relatively more common, where leaders trade in bonus for the work their employees do. Employees who know how much their efforts and what trading in can encourage them to work to the maximum. This means transactional leadership plus helps establish roles and responsibilities for each employee. Shares made timely compensation and apology for the oil spill in Nigeria 50 years ago. That means it faced ethical issues and reparations. Therefore, in order to regain the trust of employees, the government and society were reducing the financial loss of the organization. Shares need transformational leadership in cooperation with transactional leadership. This is my presentation. Next, Yunhao will talk about ethical dilemma.
Thank you for my partner Hansi Fu's presentation. My name is Yunhao Lu. I'm very glad to share my topic with you. Now let's move to how ethical dilemmas affect Shell. Shell has been repeatedly sued and demand compensation by people living in Nigeria for the serious environmental pollution caused by the oil spill 50 years ago. But the company did not pay compensation and refused to take primary responsibility. Looking back at our analysis of Shell's leadership, we suggest two options for the company's ethical dilemma. They will affect Shell's financial performance, sustainable development prospects, shareholders' interest, and social reputation. Option 1 is for Shell to pay reparations and clean up the oil in order to restore its brand reputation in Nigeria and lead to better market development. However, 10 times the compensation amount would put financial pressure on Shell, which is detrimental to the interest of shareholders. Therefore, option 1 is good for Shell's sustainable development and its public image, but bad for the company's financial performance and shareholders' interest. Option 2 is from the perspective of organizational interest. It has received to pay hefty compensation but is not responsible for the spill. In this way, the interests of the company and its shareholders are protected. However, as people pay more and more attention to environmental protection, the energy industry has become the object of global attention. According to Usman, every country in the world has set standards for pollutant discharge from the oil industry. It means that oil spills like the one in Nigeria are intolerable to society and local governments. So option 2 can protect the company's existing profits and financial status in a short time. But it is not conducive to its long-term development in the global market and the promotion of its corporate image. Based on the discussion above, option 1 is the prioritized option. It is a humanitarian option to pay compensation to Nigerian communities and clean up crude oil. According to the theory of sustainable development of organizations, it requires that organizations should realize the coordinated development with human society and ecological environment while keep improving the quality of economic growth. Thus, option 1 can give Shell a better social reputation, increase the loyalty of new and existing customers, while contributing to the sustainability of the company in the global market. Furthermore, Ben van Beurden has a leadership style where doing the right thing is the biggest driver of reputation, and he would rather choose to pay the company's reputation and environment. It shows that he is a moral leader who wants to make Earth a better place to live. So option 1 is the best choice. Option 1 would have a negative financial impact on Shell. For example, the company's business strategy will be hampered by increased financial pressure. Moreover, the interests of most shareholders would be at stake. At the same time, more attention will be paid to the safe development of the energy industry. Shell's leader can adopt advanced and innovative crude oil protection and cleaning technologies to avoid and respond to such oil spill crises in the future. Okay, now welcome to my partner Mu Zizhou to give us summary and suggestions.
Thank you, Yuanhao Liu. My name is Mu Zizhou. The following part will be introduced by me. My presentation will summarize what the other members have said and make relevant recommendations. First, in the first part of our presentation, we present the relevant background and leadership of Shell, and identify the ethical dilemmas facing the company, namely paying less and helping to solve environmental problems, and pay more but not deal with environmental issues. We then analyzes the leadership of Shell leader Ben van Beurden and found that when he adopted transformational leadership, the team had strong internal motivation, but when he adopted transactional leadership, he often had strong business knowledge and agile leadership qualities. In the facing of Nigerian oil spills, there are two different ethical dilemmas that transactional and transformational leadership can take. They are to encourage employees and organizations to cooperate and prove together, and to increase the workload of employees to cope with the financial pressure caused by compensation. If Shell adopt transformational leadership to pay reparations and actively cooperate with the oil cleanup, the company's reputation is enhanced in the short term, and the interests of stakeholders are protected. The company has hope for a sustainable development in the future too. But this option may put more pressure on employees on a short-term basis. For option 2, combining transactional leadership may create short-term financial pressure, affect the company's image, and threaten long-term stakeholders' returns. Although the high compensation for the oil spill does not participate in the treatment of the environmental pollution caused by it, which reduces the relevant workload of employees, its impact will increase the future work pressure of the employees. Both solutions to ethical dilemma have positive and negative effects. It can be concluded that the possible impact of option 1 is greater and the negative impact of option 2 is greater. Therefore, option 1 should be Shell's first choice for dealing with oil spills. After recognizing Shell's ethical dilemma, leadership, and possible outcomes, we give relevant recommendations from 2 perspectives: ethical dilemma and leadership, for the company's situation and strategy. To solve the problem of oil leakage, we must first investigate and find out the cause of leakage, then analyze the cause, take relevant measures to clean up and seal the oil leakage, and adopt relevant innovative new technologies to avoid such situation. In addition, compensation funds can be established to cover losses including oil spills, government and refugee subsidies. More importantly, it actively cooperates with other environmental protection agencies to establish good cooperation image of protecting the environment. Secondly, being a Shell leader should adopt the right leadership strategy, lowering the expectation of employees to reduce employees' stress, increasing leadership authority to ensure employees' work efficiency, and maintaining appropriate communication are all effective measures to encourage employees and organizations to cooperate and progress together. Companies' leaders should spend more time and manager thinking about company's strategies, effectively avoid various risks and to stop losses in time. Because leadership influences, engages, and encourages people's actions around a shared purpose. Taking leadership that fits the company's current state and management is the key to run a good company. Thank you. Any questions?